Hi there, it's Lori and I'm here with Decade Divas. The theme is 1970s and the sponsors of the collaboration are Critters Crochet Teresa and the Spoonie Stitcher Shannon. So, I had a concept about what I wanted to make, but before I get to what I made, I'm going to show you some things that were made in the 1970s by my grandmother. There's this little dress, and you can see that she sewed it together with thread. So I'm actually going to use crochet thread and mend this, and anything that I see, like right here, anywhere I see ends or whatever, I will take care and I will mend this. So this has been in a cedar chest. It was my mom's, and then she gave it to me, and my mom saved all this stuff. So I have some sewing together to do, but I actually wore this back in the 1970s. So there you go. There's the first one. I thought about doing a recreation, but I came up with something different. I'm just going to show you the things my grandma made. My mother actually wore this. She and I we were very different body types. So let's see if I can get this on. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, there's no way I'm going to get that on. But yes, my mother wore this in the 1970s. And again, my grandmother made this. This definitely feels like acrylic yarn because, again, that's probably what she had the most access to. Definitely crocheted. And very popular right now. This color, is, even the look of it, all of it, this would be very on trend right now. Made in the 1970s. Who knew that my grandma was a trendsetter? Now this one held up a little better. So there's two because I have a sister, so maybe this is the one I wore and the other one is just a little bit bigger. This one has very little mending to do, and you can see she did buttons. It looks like the buttons are wanting to pop off. So I'll go through and just mend it before I put it in the wash. It's been a long time since they've been washed. They've been in the cedar chest. All right, this one's my favorite, and I am hoping my granddaughter can wear it this summer. I have pictures of my sister in this in the 1970s. So I would call this, it's probably a 3T. I don't know if it's a 4T, but I'm hoping my granddaughter can wear this year. I will insert a picture of something that my grandma made in the 70s that my sister and my granddaughter have worn. So that is her great-grandmother. Sorry, great-great-grandmother. Her great-great-grandmother made that. So this one I believe is knitted. Yeah, that's knitted, right? That's what the backside looks like, and the floats, which I learned from another yarn channel because I don't knit, so I don't know. But I did not realize until recently that my grandmother knitted and crocheted. And here's another one she made. This is all made in the 1970s. You're probably noticing a slight color theme, either bright or autumnal colors. Cable sleeves. Let me put my hand through there so you can really appreciate it. So, yeah, and again, all of this feels very acrylic. Might be a pattern you all know. I don't know, because I'm not a knitter. I don't know. I thought it was this one. No, not this one. There's one that she has a tag in it. Oh, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one says, "From the knitting needles of Grandma." So cute. And yes, you can tell that's knit. I have a picture of my sister in this one. I don't know if that's easy. I don't know if I have that digitally. So, and it had a little hat. And I would say that's probably a 2T. That looks a little narrower. This one, I'm not 100% sure if this was 70s or 80s. So it was either for me and my sister. I'm going to guess since it was in this hope chest, it was for me and my sister. Christening gown kind of thing. Definitely feels acrylic. And my grandma was left-handed, but I don't know. Oh, by the way, that's like a drawstring there, so that's nice. My grandma was left-handed. I don't know if she crocheted left-handed or not. And then there's a little hood. So, little christening outfit. Okay, and they've all stayed in good shape because of being a cedar chest, right? Because cedar will protect from the bugs. All right, this is really the actual, I have a picture of me in this somewhere. I do not have access to that. This is a 2T or a 3T. I'm not sure. I don't know. Might even be a 4T. Up to a 4T maybe. Again, incredibly on trend right now. So once I get this, I make sure, yeah, like it needs some mending right there. I'm so sorry. I think it's probably dust, sorry. So I'll mend that and then I'll give that to my daughter for my granddaughter. But yep, crocheted. This one was a big piece of my inspiration. So that's all the things from my grandma from the 70s. I have other things from my grandma from the 80s. But they're clearly not of the same era. They just, there's a look to them that's different. Those I know from the 70s. I tried to decorate the best I could. I should have. I don't know. It says Decade Divas 70s. I don't know. I'm not making it better. All right. So sorry again. I think it's the dust in this room and I'm messing with stuff that's been in a box. Okay, this was the original idea or the inspiration to make. This generation probably will never understand these completely. Paper dolls. This is Holly Hobby specifically. I did purchase this little paper doll set. And I was going to try to imitate what I saw here. But I went a different direction. But the idea of the paper dolls was still my concept. So that's the inspiration. And again, I don't know which of you out there play with paper dolls. I don't know exactly when they went out. I need some tea to stop coughing, sorry. And hydrate, please. All right. So this is what I made. I'm going to call it very gender neutral. I used a just yarn, and so, sorry, it's a very white. But you see, even though the doll is three-dimensional, the clothing is not. Everything is removable, and I'm going to show you that. So we're going to take off the headband. So sort of like it would be with what am I trying to say? With paper dolls, I guess is what I was trying to say. Jeez, sorry. All right, so in the back here, I have this, I crocheted basically a button there that then I can hook the stuff around so it can come off. So the hair can come off. I cut that piece too short, but it's fine. And I went with that hairstyle, the up the middle. I tried to do my hair up the middle, and my hair said, no, I don't go that way. So I couldn't quite get the hair well, and the color doesn't help with the not being very 70s. And I thought, even though tie-dye is kind of more 60s, I went with the 70s on that too. That was the closest thing I had. So anyway, made a cap, and then put the hair in, and then I had crocheted, as I was finishing the cap, I crocheted a chain and hooked it over. So again, then that just hooks on there. Now you can see the face, very plain looking. And then this, like I said, is inspired by this. I just did the colors in the reverse order, or well, in the wrong order. And this actually had popcorns, this doesn't. So I used a different pattern. I'll link everything I used. Most of this I made up. I did not make up the doll, but I stuffed it a little less than called for, because I wanted it closer to flat, and then of course I just kind of made that up. So anyway, so this can come off. I made the chains a little too long, so I had to wrap it around the button. But then once it's there, we can take this off, and then we can see that the little shirt I made, and I felt like it was like a peasant blouse. I did not follow a pattern for this. I can tell you what I did if you're interested. Also, I put little wires in there so that arms are actually posable, and the legs too. So I can bend the legs or dance. Now, I tried to make bell bottoms. I thought I made it really wide, but they're not as wide as I hoped they were, but they're bell bottoms. And I went with bare feet because that was a thing in the 70s. Platform shoes, go-go boots. Or, again, this all comes off. Now, if you look at the paper dolls, the doll itself always had some underclothing because it was the 70s. I did not do that. Also, I made mine as gender neutral as possible. Like, my intent was going to be to make some boy clothes as well. So here's the construction on this. So I have little loops for around the wrist, and then this went around the back to that button, and a little peasant blouse. And then the bell bottoms, like I said, this one's not hooked to the button. I thought about putting a button down here, but I was like, then it's just getting too bulky on the back. And you can take that off at the ankles, and then it just slides down. And now it's just a basic doll. But the concept is the paper doll, because that was one of my favorite things in the 70s, was playing with the paper dolls. And this way, like my granddaughter, especially if I can make some more outfits, I'll probably make some more modern outfits for her, for the doll, for her, as in my granddaughter. Because I want this to be neutral, like you can make boy clothes or girl clothes for it. I was going to put like an undershirt, but oh well. Anyway, there's the bell bottoms. You can see that I tried to make them go out, but I was running out of embroidery floss. In case you were wondering, this is embroidery floss. This is embroidery floss. This is crochet thread, 10 weight. This is all embroidery floss, and I was using, I think, a 1mm hook, but I was running out of the embroidery floss, and I'm now at this point I ran out of time in my assessment to make additional outfits. Do I want to make additional outfits? Yes, I do, but I'm gonna put this back together. I'm gonna do pants first. Again, I elected to, and I didn't get that end in. Whoopsies. I thought I got all my ends. All right. I thought about shoes, thought about Mary Jane's, I thought about platforms, I thought about go-go boots. I decided barefoot was fine, because since my date is in September and October for Decade Divas, I needed to get it done. So there's the pants. I like how the peasant blouse came out. I think I did half double crochets. I think. Okay. I start with just looping them around, and then I'll put it on the wrist. That's actually the harder part because the hands come out a little bit. So, but it's actually reusable. Unlike your paper dolls, they only lasted so long. Which is, a whole different kind of challenge. All right, let's put this back on. This one I have to go from the bottom. It's not big enough to go over the head. I did think about trying to do Holly Hobby outfit, but I neglected to. But I had so many other projects going on, I didn't get that done. But I got a full outfit. Let me get the hair on. Wrap that around. Oh. Don't want it too high. There we go. All right. Because what did I not do? I did not take pictures yet because I'm a goofball. All right. Get that straightened out. So hopefully any of you that ever played with paper dolls can appreciate this. Let me hook this. Where's that? All right. And it looks much better and stays on much better with the headband. And I did a matching headband. This one's folded in half, but I really, really like it and am happy with how it came out. I have to go all the way to the eyes. And there's my crochet, quote-unquote, paper doll. So it's the concept of the paper doll. I had ends that just came out too. That's right. Oop. Like I said, the arms are posable. I can put them down or up. Or maybe we would need one up and one down like disco, right? And you can move the legs out, or like I said, you can bend them. And we went with the bare feet. So I guess we wouldn't be doing disco if we're barefooted. So that's my 1970s project. And I hope you all enjoyed that idea. And it's much easier making clothes that are flat. It was just getting them to attach. That proved to be slightly more challenging. But again, if I didn't have so many other projects going, I would have made 4 or 5 outfits. I wanted to make an Elvis outfit, but I didn't get time. I went through many ideas, but this is where we landed, and I'm super happy with it. You know, it's cute. And like I said, the main piece, this is the piece that disappeared down my shirt, by the way, this one right here, was inspired by this. I just did the colors in the wrong kind of direction, and I didn't do popcorn stitches on this. I haven't tried popcorn stitches with a 1mm hook. I don't know about any of you, but I haven't tried that. So here we go with our Decade Divas. And what I always say, oh, make sure, before I say that, make sure you watch everybody's videos. I will make sure that the Decade Divas playlist is saved into my playlist as well, and I will link the playlist on, I believe it's going to be on the Spoony Stitchers channel, but it could be on both, that will have everyone's video, and you're going to see a lot of channels linked. Please go watch the videos that are participating in this, because everybody's going to do something totally different. Like, I hope nobody else had this same concept, but I mean, if they did, even if they did, it wouldn't be the same, right? But I was trying to be very unique, and again, all of the clothes are my own pattern. The cap is not my own pattern, but like how I did the hair, I had to kind of figure out myself, because doing it the way they were doing it was going to be way fancier hair, and I just needed straight center part hair. And like I said, it stays on better with a little headband, which this material came from the Dollar Tree. So there we go. Go watch everybody's videos, and go like and subscribe to everyone. And as I say on my channel, thanks for coming in, and can I get an amen?